Welcome back, guys. Starting our season review. Tough one. We got our secondary up right now. We're gonna look at it as a unit total. In coverage, they started off really good, and then they could sort of slowed down as the year went on, and they got worse. 74 coverage grade, 230 yards per game. That's a little under 4,000 yards total. 100 rating allowed, 11 picks, 17 touchdowns allowed, which at one point they'd only allowed like 5 or something through the first 10 games. It kind of really broke down. 39 pass breakups. Tackling, they had 600 almost 600 tackles as a group. They missed about 11.5% of their tackles, 9 forced fumbles. So, not all too bad. And their pass rush, this is not from their D line, so this is when they have a free blitzer. 200 pass rush attempts. They had 12 sacks and 43 pressures on those. So okay stats as a unit, but we'll see that it wasn't great. Tremaine Edmonds, really, really mid. Uh, he had a good tackling PFF grade, but that's about it. Everything else in the 50s, 60s. Didn't miss a lot of tackles. He didn't pass rush much. And on coverage, he was fine. I mean, but like, it's just not really anything that stands out. He hasn't reached the level he was showing in his years in Buffalo. And we're honestly overpaying for him for this production. When someone like, I don't know, TJ Edwards is performing better. I mean, he's regressed from last year. He's nothing perfect. Uh, his tackle numbers have kept dropping from 135 to 112 to 90. He had a 79.6 defensive grade last year, but he's still better than Tremaine Edmonds. But this entire group, linebacker group, has really not been all it's cracked up to be. He was awful at coverage. Neither of them had any penalties, though, so we will give them that. On our cornerbacks, we had Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, and Tyreek Stevenson. Terrell Smith had, I think he had some very quality reps when he was in, but he did not really play enough for me to give an accurate evaluation of his season. Starting off with Tyreek Stevenson, did not pass rush. He missed a lot of his tackles. He was sloppy. He was targeted the most of any cornerback on our team. Um, 5 penalties. He was loudmouth. It just like it wasn't worse than last year. It just hasn't really improved from last year. He started off the season high, kind of slowed down. A Hail Mary probably really killed his confidence. But as your third cornerback on the team, I think he's fine. This is not someone thing we can let this play out. This is not something that's an immediate need. It's just that it can be frustrating when Jalen Johnson has half the field locked down and you're just giving up open plays after open plays. Next up, Kyler Gordon. Big jump. 76 defensive grade, 76 coverage grade. Look good on the run. He had okay tackling numbers, but he was a lot better in coverage this year. Didn't get interception. Only allowed a touchdown, though. He was much improved from year 2 to year 3. I think that out of all the draft picks from his draft, 2022, which we will be covering later, he's definitely the biggest hit. Uh, yeah, Rocky year 1, year 2 last year looked better, and now he's really CB2 territory. Like he would be. I think next year he could be a borderline CB1, but of course, we have Jalen Johnson, and that brings us to him. He had a down year. I mean, last year was great. He's still good, but he's not great like he was last year. Uh, Only okay numbers, 85 rating allowed. He really had some good games early in the season and some good games late, and in the middle, he was just not very good. During that losing streak, he was not very good. But you paid him a lot. He made a second team All Pro, made the Pro Bowl. I still think He's a great cornerback. I think he's one of the top five cornerbacks in the league. Last year, I thought he was the best. This year, not as much, though. I still think that the numbers are a little worse because this entire defense gave up towards the end. And now safeties. Well, we really only have Kevin Byard because Elijah Hicks, Jaquan Brisker, and Jonathan Owens all played about the same number of snaps, and none of them were really enough to give a full evaluation on. Though Jaquan Brisker, he was having a good year. He's a stud. Though that his injury history is very concerning. We'll see if he comes back next year. Elijah Hicks and Jonathan Owens, I thought played serviceable to well, and I think they are definitely good backup pieces. Uh, Kevin Byard led the team in tackles. I mean, you see, he's probably not has our highest grade defense, but run defense for a team that consistently missed tackles. He was very consistent. Great pass rush. Uh, I mean, he didn't rush much, but when he did, he was effective. His coverage has always been below average, and this year it was about average. Uh, it was fine. Uh, his tackling and run stopping made up more than enough for it. Bears, I think, should definitely bring him back. Age has not caught up with him yet. And especially when Jaquan Brisker's a maybe, you need to have at least one solid safety piece. If not, safety is actually going to be a big need this offseason. People are going to be talking about the O line, D line, but you can be like, who's back there in safety? I don't know. Can Jaquan Brisker stay healthy for a season? He hasn't yet. We'll see. And coming up, we got a lot more seats in review, looking at all position groups, PFF grades, game by game. Going to break down the head coaching hire when it happens. Give out some 2022 draft grades because that's the rule 3 years after the draft. So when you give draft grades, look at some free agent targets and draft prospects. And then as MLB season starts to ramp up, we'll get you some Cubs content. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like and subscribe.